So we have a new versus, right? So this versus is Sung Jin Woo versus Invincible or Mark. All right. Now we're going specifically on the ones from the show. It is what it is. So all of them, for both of them, have super speed, superhuman strength. Both of them have healing factors because literally Sung can use like the little potions. He has two different types of potions that he uses. All right. Invincible can get his butt heals very quick and very easily. Right. So that's just that. All right. Let's go through all of the different types of things that they have besides healing. So Sung Jin Woo has control of shadow soldiers. He has a dragon. He has a mage. He has a demon king. He has an S class hunter. He has these super strong polar bears, and he has a couple of little soldiers on the side. All right, so he has that. He has Shadow Monarch, which allows him to take whoever dies, he can make them into a shadow. All right, he has what else does he have? Let me see, what else does he have? He has physical stealth, super speed. He's very good. He has combat mastery. He's able to adapt also in fights very easily. We see that every single time, and every single person he versus is literally stronger than him at first, and then he kind of slowly starts to learn how to become more and more powerful pretty much every fight. When the next season comes out, it's going to be crazy. But he also technically does a lot of training. If you actually pay attention, he does an extremely big amount of training all the time. Like when he's going up the different floors fighting the demons, that is classified as training. He's literally fighting multiple demons going up multiple floors. So there's also that. He also was training when he first got his powers, because when he was laying in the bed, his power forced him to train. It forced him to run around in a desert area, like some kind of pocket dimension, running away from these scary giant creatures for multiple hours, to the point where the doctors were looking for him and they're like, "Where is he at? Where'd he go?" Okay. Now Invincible has also done some training in season 3. Him and Cecil did training, where he was lifting that giant metal thing, and then he was also lifting something else. I can't remember what else he lifted. Mark has also went to the moon extremely fast. He also stopped a meteor, if I remember correctly. So they both have very similar feats. And the thing about Sung Jin Woo is that he clearly always constantly adapts every single time. His skills are a little bit stronger because he's willing to make sacrifices. He's willing to kill every freaking animal in the freaking area and shit. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't care. But he does try to save the other S rank hunters. You know what I'm saying? But he's willing to kill the enemies, take their shadow, use them to his advantage. He's willing to, if an S rank died or tries to fight him, he's willing to take them as his soldier. He's really a savage for real. He's low-key a villain, but a hero kind of at the same time. Kind of like a mix of an anti-hero to a certain degree. And that's why I like him. He's kind of like an anti-hero. Mark is also technically kind of like an anti-hero because he be killing people too. He killed Immortal in the future. And he's technically fighting his own people. But who would win in a fight? If I'm being 100% honest, if we're going based on just the seasons that are out of Solo Level and the seasons that are out in Invincible, I think Solo Level in season 2, Invincible season 3, they might kind of be evenly matched. Now, there are some people that might say that Mark would just automatically win because he has super strength, but we've seen time and time again that Sung Jin Woo does have super strength, he does. When he was fighting the Ant King in the recent episode, he's literally punching him through the damn walls and shit. That 1,000% is super strength. You can't even argue that. You can't go, Mark would beat him with one hit. Nah, this is a little different than Deku. I think Sung Jin Woo most definitely has a chance of beating Mark. Especially because even though Mark has killed a couple of people, Mark does kind of still act kind of soft. Even though in the last episode, he was finally like, I'm going to stop playing around, whatever. And he fought Conquest and was trying his hardest to beat him. But this can be a pretty even fight, mostly because Sung Jin Woo has massive hacks, and he genuinely has super speed, super strength, and all that stuff. Even though he pretends like he doesn't have it because he doesn't want the S hunters to know, but now they know. I mean, it is what it is. So it could, in my opinion, it could kind of go either way to a certain degree, bro. It kind of could. It really all kind of depends. Now, I'm not going to speak on Sun Jin Woo at the end of the comic, the manhwa, because I haven't read the ending of it, so I don't know. Invincible at the end though is like super strong. I think he's like 400 years old at the end of the comic book, if I remember correctly. At the end, maybe he probably could beat Sun Jin Woo, but if I remember correctly, I've only heard this. I don't know if this is 100% true, but he apparently gets Sun Jin Woo gets 10 million shadows, or I don't know if that's the name of it, of him having all the shadows. I don't know, but I remember reading somewhere about 10 million shadows and all that. But when I go and look on YouTube, it only shows like the couple of shadows that we've seen so far. Those people are just kind of, showing us the shadows he has in the show. But I will research that a little bit more. But from what I've researched, I don't know. It's not like nobody no diffs nobody. It's like it would be 1,000% be a challenge for Mark to fight Sun Jin Woo and all his shadows that are just as strong. Because his shadows, like for example, you have that giant ass shadow that shoots the fire out, and you have a freaking dragon. And remember, Mark was kind of struggling against that dragon. Again, we're talking about the ones from the show. Okay, we're not talking about Mark in the future, 400 years in the future. But in the show, though, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Sun Jin Woo has so many different hacks and healing factors and super speed and super strength and all these multiple abilities and all these different shadows that are almost just as equally as strong as him. Like I said, the dragon, the mage, the demon king, the S rank class hunter that died, the polar bear. I mean, he has a lot that he can use against Mark. But Mark does have his super strength where he probably could punch through like the polar bears and stuff. But like that giant shadow that Sun Jin Woo has with the fire powers, I don't think Mark is just gonna beat that in one hit. Because remember, Mark was kind of struggling with that dragon, with the Asian dude that became a dragon. He was kind of struggling with him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I genuinely think when it comes to the series, the ones that are animated, season 2 of Solo Leveling, season 3 of Invincible, it low-key can kind of go either way. I ain't gonna lie. Even though I will say, if we're looking at their fights, Sun Jin Woo, he always winning his fights and adapting and getting more and more powers and leveling up constantly. You know what I'm saying? And then Mark is always kind of low-key losing. But again, Mark is always fighting somebody who's super duper strong though. But you can say the same thing about Sun Jin Woo. Sun Jin Woo is always fighting somebody that's way stronger than him too. And he adapts and he wins the fight. And then he takes the shadow of the person. So, I mean, it really is like, it can kind of go either way. It really can. And from what I've seen, based on looking at the shows and looking at their feats. Like, it is what it is. So, y'all let me know how y'all feel. Again, don't put no disrespectful comments in the comment section. If you do, I'm either going to delete it or I'm going to clown the hell out of you depending on how my mood is. Because I'm kind of in the mood to talk mad crap right now. I ain't going to lie. But I might just delete it and let it slide. But you can tell me your opinion. If you think Mark would win, that's fine. If you think Sun Jin Woo would win, that's fine. So it is what it is. Y'all have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe, follow your boy. Peace.